by making it about mobility, it immediately ties us to multimodal transportation efforts that are happening. It immediately ties us again to even issues around policing. I mean, it really winds up having us to have a more intersectional approach to the way that we think about this. But I think so it's a very good network for people to connect to. But I think the big thing that I would say is that in the community that you're working in, I really I joke all the time. If I could go back to school, I would probably do some type of urban planning, landscape architecture, public health triple major, right? Because I really do know that design matters. I think that again, this is and it's unfortunate that really like we need to do some type of cultural internship for every person working in those capacities because they have real power. They are really at the decision-making table. And our challenge is if you are at a table where you are a leader, I really need you to look around and go, am I sharing, am I actually sharing power with diverse communities, right? Am I sharing power with diverse perspective? So if you're a male leader and you don't have, if your team isn't 50% women and 50% people of color, then you need to rebuild your team. Because I promise you, and I think this is an example I use for all of our, I always tell people that you have to have trusted people who will tell you the truth, who are nothing like you. Right? That have an experience different from yours. And so that's really part of the idea of the untokening work, is it is really one building up the network, the confidence and skills of professionals and advocates and activists of color in all these spaces so that they show up with the right power, right? And that's part of it, so it really has been exciting in that regard. But I really will say too that I really want to acknowledge is if you're an urban planner, if you're working in a city, if you're designing for a park board or running a system, those organizations are really have a big impact on the way people live in community. And I don't think that is people don't understand that. And so one of the things I would love from an untokening perspective, I would love to see us going into communities that are historically marginalized and actually sharing the ways that we design communities for increased human engagement. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Where you really show the way you design a street where it's better for people. Show the way you design a park if you want people to stay longer. Or if you want, like, they don't know that that's what you all do. If we don't want someone to stay in a space very long, we design that in. If we want people to stay in a space very long, we design that in. When we prioritize people over cars, we design that in. And I think if people understand how design influences the way they experience space, they will make different choices. They will support you differently.